there was this HR director I used to work with, phenomenal person, and she introduced this guy called Marcus Buckingham, and he had a book, and it was called Trombone Player Wanted, and it was about this young boy who was joining the school orchestra. And, first day everybody's sitting down, the teacher had assigned everybody an instrument, right? And the first day sitting down. And he was assigned the trombone. And he wasn't a fan, he didn't like the trombone. Of course, he's just sitting down. Everybody's, let me get back around here, I'll finish telling the story. So he sat down with this big long instrument, and he kept looking back, at the little boy who was sitting behind the drums. And the little boy sitting behind the drums, fumbling around, and he kept looking back. So as the day goes on, she's instructing, the trombone player to, here's how you play this, and going around teaching everybody how to play their part. But each day they came to music class, he kept staring back at the drummer. And so the teacher finally noticed that he was, staring at the drummer. And he went to the teacher and said, look, I don't like the trombone. I want to play the drums. And she says, well, we already have a drummer. So, this is the instrument that we need a trombone player. So, disappointed, he goes back and he tries his best at the trombone, But then the teacher notices that the little boy was on the drums looking at the guy playing the guitar all the time. So it dawned on the teacher, well, maybe if we switch this thing around a little bit, we may make some progress in this class. And all of a sudden, they seemed to be doing well. They started playing as a group. And, I thought that was pretty cool, especially coming from the HR director, to make that analogy and Marcus Buckingham to make the analogy that everybody was born with innate talents and gifts. And you as a manager, if you don't understand what those talents and gifts are, you may be misusing your powerhouses, So later on, I had this network manager that worked under me. And he was really good at the technical part of things. As far as being able to structure a network, manage network traffic. He's amazing at it, right? But he hated writing reports, and he couldn't write a report that made sense. And of course that affected me because I'd have to take that data that he provided me and make a cohesive report for my higher ups. So the more he sucked at it, there was more work for me, which I could have been doing other things, right? And then I had this network engineer who analyzed data like nobody's business. He was just, he was on it. His predictions were on it. He understood how data flowed and overall usage and being able to cut costs. He was amazing at reports, but he wasn't as skilled when it came to infrastructure design as far as implementation. But he could overall, analytically tell you how well it's doing, where you need to adjust. So I went to the HR director and I said, look, I want to try something. And it's like, okay, what are you trying to try? I want to move some job responsibilities around with these two people. And then I mentioned, reminded them of the fact that, that was Marcus Buckingham's theory about, the trombone player wanted. So it was agreed that I would give this a trial, right? So I took the 20% of reporting that the network manager had to do for his job and gave it to the network engineer, right? And then I took the implementation side of things out of the network engineer's position and put it with the network manager, right? And man, within 2 weeks, you could see the productivity just going up. Meetings were more precise, more concise, shorter time frame, getting the information that everybody needed out. I no longer had to do a report or a re-report. So anyway, I just wanted to blurt that out, that it worked. And sometimes you really have to take a look at what people's innate abilities are and match them to the job, or alter the job so that it matches their innate abilities, and watch their productivity level, soar.